Healthcare, the latest green thing, I'm not making this up, green burials. You guys heard of this? Getting buried naked without a casket. I did not know about this until my Uncle Wendell's viewing. Naked without a casket, I'm thinking, what do the pallbearers hold on to? So I mentioned that I had some starts and stops in comedy, but I finally got on stage after that one open mic in the previous podcast, and I knew that I was going to do comedy forever. I, of course, wanted to quit my day job that night, but luckily I didn't. Instead, I started doing open mics, which led me to working some one-nighters and doing MC work in comedy clubs. I did this for about 2.5 years, and I really wanted to leave my job, but I just didn't know how or when. But one day at work, I had a big issue with some of the big bosses, and I felt like I could not continue to work there. I absolutely knew it was time to leave. So the next day, I called in sick and made my plans. I looked at my finances and my expenses and figured out what I'd need, things like that, and then I picked a date 6 months ahead, in August, and I called a club to get some work. I booked 2 weeks of work, and I knew that I'd either have to quit my job, because I couldn't get 2 weeks off in a row from my job, or I'd have to cancel the club work. And if I canceled, I knew I'd never get to work that club again. I felt really relieved going into the office for the last 6 months. I didn't tell anyone my plans, but I know some of my friends suspected it. It really made those last 6 months livable. I had made all the plans to jump from the day job into comedy full time, but the last detail was telling my parents, especially my dad, because he really believed in getting a secure job and staying there forever. Yeah, my plan was to leave in August, and on that Father's Day in June, my brother and I were talking in his kitchen about leaving my job, and my dad walked in. Yeah, he said, "You're not quitting your job until you have another one, are you?" I took a deep breath and said, "Well, comedy is going to be my job." And to my dad's credit, he thought for a minute and then said that I should go ahead and do it. I think he came around because he had always wanted to open his own law practice, and he never did. So the big day in August finally got here, and I left. Yay! And when I left my job, the most money I'd ever made in stand-up comedy for the whole year was $3,500. Yeah, I was still emceeing $25 a show. I've never told anyone this because they probably thought I was an idiot. But I wanted to do this comedy thing so badly that I didn't really care. In fact, on my last day at work at DuPont Circle in Washington, D.C., I left the building, jumped in my car, and promptly ran a stop sign. And I got a ticket. Yeah, I should have been really scared because I'd just given myself a huge pay cut, but I wasn't. I was so excited about the future that I didn't think about getting the ticket or even the fact that I'd left my day job. I just knew that everything would work out. And when I hit the road full time, my parents actually became my biggest supporters. My mom would buy me groceries, and my dad would grill chicken to put in my traveling cooler. Yeah, my parents were also my first visitors when I moved to Los Angeles. And before she passed away, my mom told me how proud they were of me. In fact, at her funeral, several of her friends said things like, "Oh, you're the comedian. Your mom always told us what a tough job that was and how well you were doing with it." Of course, I invited my parents only out to the good clubs, like my home club, the DC Improv. The managers always made me look good by comping my parents' tickets and giving them free drinks. I did not bring them to the bar gigs. And before the shows, I'd prepare my dad by saying, "Now, these are jokes about the family. Don't get mad. They're just jokes." They also loved hearing me on the radio interviews, which made me look good too. I made a few mistakes along the way, as you're going to hear in these podcasts. In fact, my first tax season, when I had money from comedy, my accountant said, "You really should have kept better records." I looked at him and said, "You have no idea how amazed I am that I even made any money at being a comedian." It was true. The takeaway tip from this is have something in your life that you are so excited about that it's worth running a stop sign to get to it. Yeah, focus on the future and what you're going to, not on the past and what you left behind. That's it for this episode. Thanks for listening. Feel free to check out my website, theworklady.com. This is Jan. Take care and enjoy your journey.